买测试服本来就有。Oh. Apparently my Chinese community members are saying the 30 polls were apparently previously already in the beta server, like from before, which means they're trying to say it wasn't even compensation 30 polls. It was originally intended for the player base. I'm not sure how true this is though. And they posted 17 minutes ago on the CN community. That's essentially the exact same wording. I don't upload on Bilibili. Bilibili needs a dark mode. I don't think there's a dark mode. And this it seems to already have 20,000 comments. And the previous post has 580. The crazy part about the CN community is there are a lot of people in China and a lot of keyboard warriors. The original live stream post from Wuthering Waves has almost 600,000 comments. 600,000, not 60. 60万. I don't. Oh, over here, 58.4万. How many of them are real people though? This is where I'm sure there are a lot of bots in there, but there's been a massive outrage in the Chinese community for the Wuthering Waves anniversary, which is honestly why I am surprised at the rewards that they decided to give. 584,000 comments. The 58.4 is 584,000. Rar. 你中午起床的时候只有40万。国内对这次的补偿有什么看法？ But I guess I can just open the comments. Let's see what the top comments sound sarcastic. I'm not disappointed. Focus on making Zani's store request. This is really important. And then this one says, I don't know if you guys did it on purpose. This kind of thing happened when you first launched the server, and now it happened again in the first year. I feel like they're not that upset for the reward. 挺好的，态度挺好. It seems like the CN community seems like the rewards are fine, at least from the first few comments I read. Can I claim these as soon as I log in? It looks like it. It's people asking about the details of the login. And this one says, thank you for responding. I'm happy that there was a response in the first place. Let us enjoy the first year anniversary. But we'll wait and see. So maybe if the CN community is happy, that probably will be the only rewards we get. The Calcaro. I wonder how we're gonna end up meeting Calcaro. Maybe you gotta be on Bilibili to read CN crashouts. That would be the original post where there's almost 600k. It seems like they're happy with the apology, the way they worded it. And then people didn't seem to comment that much about the actual polls. They just said these 30 polls, they're not from 2.4. They're not polls from 2.4 you allocated over. Oh, wait, there is a dark mode? How do I turn on dark mode? I don't see it on any of my top bar things. How do I turn on the... Is there a dark mode? How do I turn on dark mode? Oh, you're trying to figure out how. Maybe I can take a look later. I didn't realize there was a dark mode. Welcome up, Poo Poo. Back from work. We're not done with the kudos board. Back to kudos board reading. Welcome back from work to Jamo. We were interrupted from kudos board reading by the Wuthering Waves announcement. I do think the apology was really good. We were reading the Kuro message where they posted the apology for the Wuthering Waves anniversary. But I think that was the issue. Their apology was too good. And then that's why it made me feel like they were gonna offer you a little bit more. With the comments. I feel like maybe that's where the apology was delivered too well. I felt It is one of those weird situations though, where because they apologize so sincerely, and then you look at the next steps and you're like, wait, with that kind of apology, surely you gotta be giving out like a free 5-star. It's always interesting. Expectations are always a bit mismatched. Suffering from success. And the apology says itself, the broadcast wasn't good enough. I think I mentioned it went over a lot of things. Both for the rewards, the allocations, the allocation of the resources, I think the rewards, and the way the live stream was presented. And then they also very sincerely thanked everyone for the past year. 看来国内的玩家好像对这次的补偿都挺满意的，所以原神玩家看明朝这次公关危机都是小事。那原神是经历多少风，我忘了那怎么说，多少风雨？原神是经历过很多的风雨。Launching a login. It seems like we can claim all of these polls from the very beginning though. 风雨 Genshin's been through a lot. Let me drink some water. It's all pre-planned. No, I don't think they would. I don't think they expected this amount of controversy. I think you can pre-plan some, but you wouldn't go and plan like this type of big controversy where it feels like you kind of did actually flip over. Like Genshin, the anniversaries always seem like such a scary time for games. I'm glad we're not a game here at the Sweden stream. Where the anniversary is always a fun-filled time. I can't imagine working at a game company and then thinking about just like how are you going to not mess up this anniversary? How are you gonna deliver while like pleasing your investors? I think one thing that was interesting that the CN community mentioned was all of like the Wuthering Waves plans for giving away things have to be approved by Tencent and higher ups. They can't. I think there is some level, especially because I think some people saw the recent announcement about Tencent owning 51% share of Wuthering Waves of the Kurogames stock. It's not as simple as like some people think these rewards are good and then they can just give it to the players. A lot of the compensation packages, I think you have to carefully present them to like all the teams and then get approved. So it's like even unclear like who approves these, and like people that come up with these probably have various plans, and then ultimately like someone else chooses to approve or disapprove of them. So I imagine anniversaries in these types of companies must be a really dicey, a really stressful period of time. It's like if something goes wrong, it's like you either can't please no matter how you go about it, you probably end up displeasing someone. Tencent has majority share in Kurogames. That's why we don't have community managers. You need to be a robot for that kind of job. Yeah, gacha games, people are really ruthless on the internet too. And Tencent probably holds the purse strings. I think ultimately Tencent probably does get to decide a lot of how some things are ran. And it's not necessarily, let's say, like the company or the developer's fault. Time to go back. And they did say stay tuned for further updates. That is true. Thank you once again for your support and belief. We'll see how this goes. Well, and extra polls are still good. Even if these are the only extra polls we will be getting. Maybe... Though maybe I shouldn't say maybe. That's like setting my expectations higher up again. We will have no more expectations. These will be the only compensation we will be receiving from Wuthering Waves. No more maybes. LADS, best game, very popular and not as drama as these games. LADS, there is drama around LADS, I think. Though in this time and age, I think you can probably spin up a drama from anything. 2.4, everyone get a free wife. I'm looking forward to Cartier on 2.4. You do generally feel like it's better to live life without too many expectations. Generally that's the case. But sometimes people come to you and then they set up expectations for you. Or companies come to you and then they set up expectations. It's about guys complaining the girls love the game LADS too much. I took a peek at the LADS guys the other day. I don't think I particularly like any of them. So I'm not very interested in playing LADS. They all don't quite fit. And the male VA I like don't voice any of the guys. I don't really like their voices that much either. TBH, you just enjoy the games for what they are. Yeah, that's hard. I feel like as a more casual, depending on how you play your games, these are all types of things where you don't really have to worry about or let it bother your gameplay. As long as you're enjoying the game, you can still choose to play the game. I do think at times when you read too much into like all the negative comments or all the comments about the drama about the game that you play, it makes the game less fun for you. But not in a way where it's like you feel more informed and therefore the game is less fun. Feels like it's not necessarily information that might have added to your like life. Like it's not something where it's like a net positive for you as a person. Maybe it will lead to like you quitting the game, which could lead to changes. But sometimes just focusing on playing the games that you find enjoyment from and that you find happiness from, and not worrying too much about what's going on in the actual space is the best. 你就是个普通玩家，你觉得都挺好的，有更多抽肯定是挺好的。No Fox and LDS. Red Rose says it's better to try and live life more logically, like you're still allowed to have your emotions, and it's part of human life to have that, but there's so many things that would get easier to just get past or deal with when it comes to things you don't like. If you literally just could look logically at things. It's hard to live life logically though, but yes. A lot of people, it is easy to get emotional about things or feel heated, especially the more you read about some of these things. Yeah, a lot of the times, especially for those who are busier, it's not worth the emotional energy and I guess also the time energy to deal with some of these things. Guess we'll see how this goes. Let me drink some water. Literally, why you study emotions? I find psychology really interesting too. It's easy to say just be logical, but when the emotions are in your brain, good luck. Well, it's because we all have the disease of being human after all. No matter how much we like to think we are better than others and how we would do things differently, at the end of the day, we're all human and we all make mistakes. And sometimes looking at situations and then thinking about how you would be better isn't necessarily conducive to you actually becoming a better person. Being human isn't a disease. Maybe it's not the right term, but you can kind of think of it that way if you feel like when you have emotions and it's not necessarily the emotions that you don't like. You'd say it's a balance between logic and emotions. It's definitely not good to just be all logical. Then we just turn into robots. Then there's no need for humans. You can just... I guess that would be when the AI revolution is. We do currently have a black screen. False logic can lead to false reasoning. Welcome, Soup, to this stream. Welcome back, Eclipse. Let's go back to our other screen. 测试服本来就有. Oh. Apparently my Chinese community members are saying the 30 polls were apparently previously already in the beta server, like from from before, which means they're trying to say it wasn't even compensation 30 pulls. It was originally intended for the player base. I'm not sure how true this is though. You can take it with a grain of salt, but apparently that's what the CN community is saying, that the 30 pulls were just something they didn't announce previously, but was apparently in the server, was apparently already on the beta server. I'm not sure though. It was part of the plan. We will see the developments. There's one more week before the anniversary. 腾讯代理还不如拿。We'll go from Hazi's message.